Hey there YouTube, Air of Carthage back with some more Shimazu campaign. So yeah, I actually recorded this, and you know how normally I have my mic turned off? Well, this time I had muted the external input for Fraps earlier, and I forgot to unmute it. So I did have my mic on, but little did I know that it was still muted on Fraps, so I just need to make like a checklist before I make videos. Anyway, here I am going through my provinces. Some of you had told me that building markets would use up some of my food supply, so I was just checking that there, and it didn't appear to be the case as of yet. And right now I'm doing fine. I don't have a food shortage. It says 0 down there in the very right-hand corner. And also some of you told me that this trade route up here with China, where you get raw silk, is worth a whole lot. I believe you. The only problem is right now is that the Shoni are in control of it, and they are my allies, and I don't really have an army to attack them with. So I may consider it, though. I may go do some reconnoitering of the Shoni, because I do have to take some of those provinces on the north side of Kyushu in order to satisfy the campaign requirements. So yeah, it won't be happening in this video or the next, but maybe soon. But remember, we took Tosa in the last video, in the taming of Tosa. I'm going to go ahead and end a turn. You can see the Chosokabe troops up there suffering from winter attrition now that I've booted them out of their own province. And we want to take those guys out quickly before they really have much of a chance to regroup and recover from the savage beating that I gave them in their home province. Now, they did savagely destroy me on the seas, though, but their navy really can't do much about the fact that I'm sitting in their castle. So that ought to make things nice. So here we go. Got my army. It's pretty well recuperated. Just need to recruit some troops, of course, to stay in the castle. And we're going to have to be careful on money. Right now, my clan income is good, but I mean, it can go up and down really, really quickly and without a whole lot of warning. So you don't want to, just count on it to constantly be the same. So here we are. We're going to march up towards this province. Here's a Iyo castle, which is another Chosokabe province. All they have is samurai retainers, so I'm just going to do a quick auto-resolve, and we'll be in control of yet another Chosokabe province. And I don't really know how much territory these guys control, since I haven't really looked at the diplomacy screen. If you ever want to know exactly how much territory the clan that you're attacking controls, like I said, you can just go to that diplomacy screen. And I'm not going to loot, because apparently it has an effect on your daimyo's honor to loot. I'm not sure of all the other effects it has, but I only loot every now and then in order to get some money if it's in a much needed situation, because you're just going to end up having to repair all the buildings that you loot. Alright, so right now we are researching some shinobi stuff, so that'll help us eventually train some ninjas. The ninja units on this game, I haven't gotten a chance to show them to you yet, but I actually used them in a custom battle. Here I'm trying to point out to you the upkeep cost of my army and my navy. In any case, yeah, the ninja units in the custom battle are absolutely amazing. Here you can see that province is red. That means they're angry. And so if you open it up here and you exempt them from tax, it brings the public order back down to 0, which means it's, neutral. My other province here, I can go ahead and when it's black, it means it's exempt from tax. I can go ahead and unexempt them from tax, but they're still unhappy. But then I notice it's because it's on auto manage my taxes, and the computer had it jacked up pretty high. So I guess the computer is trying to cause some revolts. You definitely don't want any revolts, because then you're going to have an army to go put down the rebellion. It's just way easier to stop the rebellion to begin with. So now my clan income isn't nearly as high, so it was actually just due to all those high taxes. But again, I was probably starting to work up to revolt, and we don't want that. So just go ahead and lower the taxes, and just better off to keep the people happy at this point, because I think it would end up costing me more money to put down a rebellion than it would be worth. And there you can see a large Chosokabe army coming into view on the edge of my territory. So we're going to want to deal with them promptly. So we mastered the art of shinobi. That's pretty cool. And it shows the Tokugawa was destroyed, and some of you have said that they've actually destroyed and come back several times. And the way that happens is when a clan gets destroyed, if the province revolts and the rebels are able to take the castle, then that clan will kind of be reinstated. So that may be. Now, some of you also reminded me that I haven't promoted some of my generals or family members into commissions, and so here I am assigning them to commissions. I can't really read what's on the screen, but you should be able to see it on a full screen view on YouTube. So I'm just putting them in different positions here that will hopefully benefit my clan. And some of this stuff will be helping me with replenishment, campaign movement, tax income, so there'll be lots of helpful things there. Alright, so there we go. Looks like I have everybody promoted to some type of commission. So I know someone mentioned that in the comments of my last video, and they were correct. I hadn't done that, and it is important that you do that, as it can very much help you out. It's kind of like on Empire Total War, where you can mess around with your politicians, and it would end up benefiting you more. We need to take the army, though, and march from Iyo. You can see that we don't have much money, and my clan income is going down rather quickly. So we could be in a position soon facing some negative income. We'll be prepared for that, though. I'm going to have to exempt another region from tax here so as to not cause it. And you can see that that ran my income down to -2. So, yeah, and I can't really raise the taxes to offset it. So we're just going to have to live with the fact that we're losing just a little bit every turn. But we can take care of that soon once we can take those provinces off of the tax exemption. Alright, I definitely want to build a market in this province. I'm going to save my money. The market just helps add some wealth to the province, which definitely helps with my clan income. So I'm going to try and build lots of markets. I have quite a few trade ports. I really need to get some trade going. I need to train just a couple of trade ships. They're cheap. So it won't happen in this video, but soon I'll be training some trade ships, sail them over to Eastern Japan, and start trading with the clan that I'm not likely to go to war with, because it doesn't do me a whole lot of good to trade with a clan and then just basically end up attacking them very soon afterwards. So my income got even worse. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I can start taxing these people. And it looks like the public order there will be 0, so hey, that's acceptable. And in this province it'll be 0 as well, so at least it's neutral. And we'll just keep an eye on things. But for now we're back into the positive income range, which is good. And of course, capturing certain provinces provides you with little buildings, like you might see the building where you have a good source of stone, or war horses, or iron. There's certain provinces that'll definitely help you. Like I know my province that I started in has like an armor, so that when you recruit units there, they start with better weapons and stuff. Anyway, you can see there's going to be a pretty big fight with the Chosokabe, so here's the general speech. I think I like playing the speeches whenever it's like a big fight. But they actually repeat a lot of the same stuff every now and then, but sometimes they don't, so it's pretty fun. I like how he's propping up my men there, letting them know how great the Shimazu are. I love that. Do not think of the Chosokabe as men. They are geisha, sorry. Oh, it's hilarious. I love it when my general calls like the enemy army a bunch of women. It's so wonderfully politically incorrect. It's just, it's awful. I love it. Just reminds you the different times, when women were definitely not treated with the same respect. Which, I'm glad things aren't that way today. It'd be a mess. Alright, so here I'm going to deploy my army with archers up front, on skirmish and loose, of course, and then I'm going to put my Yari Samurai on the flanks. Yari Samurai are great units to protect your flanks. They have, pretty good defense skill and everything. And you can push G to group your units like that. There are formations over there to the left that you can use, but I like the formation I'm in, and then you can this is how you click and move your forces all at once. And when you hold down the space bar, you can see that it shows where your troops are going, and you can come over here and click these buttons to rotate them into the position you want. So that's a little bit of tips for battlefield movement for any of you who want to know. And then you can also go back over to here and push this forward, and you can run your men forward, just in a straight line like that. So that works as well, and you can move your men backwards as well. So it works out pretty well. This should bring me into bow range, though. And once I get into bow range, I'm going to do some skirmishing. The Chosokabe have about 4 or 5 bow samurai. So, but I have 5 bow ashigaru, which is more numbers. Here's the first-person view some of you wanted with the arrows. We'll see if this arrow hits anybody. Of course, I already know the answer to that, but you'll just have to wait and see. I haven't been fortunate enough yet to do a first-person arrow view and actually see the arrow hit someone, which is kind of crappy. But eventually I'm sure I'll get one, and hopefully it'll be while I'm recording. But anyway, it's a pretty cool view nonetheless. Gives you a nice cinematic here. It takes a little bit, quite a long time. It's even cooler, I think, whenever there's fire arrows. And it's funny, it goes right through that guy's head, but it didn't count as a hit. I've noticed that happens a lot. Anyway, that's what the first-person view looks like from the archers. I'll use the first-person view from time to time to try and just show you what it's like for those of you who've been asking. Here's my archer volleys devastating these enemy bow samurai. And bow samurai are great units. They reload faster, they have better accuracy, but they have fewer numbers, which kind of balances them out a little bit. They do have access to the flaming arrow ability, though, which the Chosokabe are not using here. And the Chosokabe are masters of bow. That is their one of their clans, I guess, special abilities. As you know, the Shimazu are masters of the swords. The Chosokabe are bow masters. But I just have a whole lot more men than they do, and thus I'm devastating their numbers. But these guys are some top quality skirmishers, really, and they can actually fend off sword infantry and maybe even spear infantry for a little while. They won't quite be up to par with them, but they'll do a whole lot better than bow ashigaru. I love these arrow volleys, though, so I'm trying to get you some arrow volleys. It's very brutal. You can see those guys dropping there, and you can see the arrows poking up out of them. Definitely like that effect. CA adding that in is really cool. So anyway, I've now done some pretty significant damage to the enemy bows, so I'm just going to go ahead and march my sword infantry and my Yari samurai up. And we're going to want to go ahead and get this battle underway. I'll take my cav out to the flanks. And remember, my cav is 2 bow cav and 2 Yari cav. And then I'm going to take my general, or my generals, and put them right behind my infantry line. I like to do this on this game. I like to keep my my melee infantry as much as possible within the sphere of influence of my leader, because that will help keep their morale up higher and make them do better in the fight. Here you're seeing the computer pretty aggressively chase my cavalry with ashigaru units. In some cases it winds up being totally dumb, but the computer's so persistent at it that a lot of times as soon as you turn your back and look at something else, they will have caught up with your cavalry. I mean, they just chase and chase and chase your cavalry sometimes. And it works out good for the computer, actually, in a lot of cases, even though it's kind of ignoramus. Sometimes, like I said, they just catch you off guard, and it also keeps your cavalry so busy moving away from them that it's hard for you to come and do any hammer and anvil strikes, which is unfortunate because the hammer and anvil strikes are absolutely devastating in this game if you pull them off right. Very much devastating, just kind of like they were in Rome Total War. Yeah, so here's me running all my cavalry away. I kind of had a little opening there to the enemy backlines. I probably should have taken it, but I'm just going to go ahead and try and get my cavalry out of that vicinity because I really just don't want them to get caught up on these ashigaru units. And what you really have to be careful of is if you're ever using your general as kind of some striking cav, you definitely want to keep them away from these ashigaru units because they'll get kind of caught up in them, and it'll take a long time for you to get your general out of there, and then a lot of times he'll end up dying. Here I'm demonstrating once again the fact that you can charge Yari Ashigaru if you catch them out of formation like I did there. So I was waiting for them to be out of formation. I caught them at just the right moment and then charged on through. You still don't want to stay in an extended melee. You just want to do a charge. And finally I'm going to get a shot at the back lines, but by the time I get there the enemy is already routing, so that's kind of frustrating. But it's not before. I'm not going to get up here and start mercilessly cutting down these Chosokabe troops that are routing, and I'm going to go ahead and cut down even more of them. There's the results from that battle. See that was a nice victory for me. Definitely cut down a huge portion of their army. Alright, we're just going to want to go ahead and march forward and maybe see if we can kill the Chosokabe daimyo here. Alright. Just going to auto-resolve this because it's not worth really fighting. There's not very many troops there. And down goes the daimyo. Yes. Okay, so you can see that this province actually has some stone, and that'll provide benefits, when it comes to developing my provinces, so it'll be a good one to capture, and probably also create some trade income. Everything looks alright for now in my finances. I mean, my clan income is not great, but we're able to maintain. I probably ought to really consider going to war with the Shoni and capturing all the rest of those European trading ports. Or, not all of them are European, sorry, there's the Chinese and the Korean. If I can capture those trading ports, that'll really give me a huge amount of income that's not necessarily dependent on trade with another clan. So that might be pretty helpful. Okay, we have a mission here. Within the next 6 seasons, I think this is the one where it's asking me to attack, yeah, the Miyoshi clan, which is on the island of Shikoku here. So you can see that that's their province right there, that Awa. And we need to take this army and go ahead and move towards the Chosokabe castle as our men are suffering winter attrition. They have almost no defenses, so this is just going to be an auto-resolve battle, as it's not really worth my time. There's their new daimyo. So 2 battles in a row, 2 Chosokabe daimyos are going to die. So here I go, I'm going to click the auto-resolve. And my biggest hope here is that I just didn't take an unnecessary amount of losses. And you can see, though, in those battle results that it turned out pretty well. Only lost 59 men. And yet another province is going to be under our control. Going to peacefully occupy the city. You can see it's not providing any income. And that's probably due to the fact that the people are not real happy about having been invaded. And it's probably just going to take time to, turn around some of these provinces and make them more profitable. And here it says Great Clan destroyed, so you're seeing the end of the Chosokabe, so I hope you kind of enjoy this little quick video. Here's some reminders of what happened to their men as they were trodden under the foot of the greatness of the Shimazu. And I take it this is their daimyo committing suicide. And then also being dishonorably executed at the same time. So there we go. That is the end of the brutal end of the Chosokabe. So they are now gone. And here soon, all of Shikoku will be under our control. Let's see, I'm looking here to see if there's any trade partners we can use right now, and we really don't have anybody. They don't have any trade ports open, so even if I could convince them to trade with me, it's not possible. So that kind of sucks.